Good evening, fight fans! I am Captain Logan, and joining me as always is Danny Nixon.
Hello, fight fans and Gothamites and everyone and the millions watching around the world for this special night of combat here in Gotham City.
It is the big Duke-a-roo between Batman and the Joker, and we're going to watch a lot of kind of set up things to get a good sense of who these guys are before the fight begins. Danny, we've been following this for a lot of months now, and it is really exciting to finally see the big throwdown.
That's right, Cap. It's the immovable force meets the unstoppable force meets the immovable object. I got a little bit of a slip of the tongue there, but you can tell.
Hey, it's possible they're both immovable or both unstoppable.
Absolutely.
There's honestly no telling. We've never put these two guys in a room together.
Not to my knowledge, Cap. And if we have, I don't see how we're doing it again, because this seems like a clash for the ages, a once-in-a-lifetime type of event.
It honestly is hard to imagine both of these guys walking away at the end of this.
You want to know my bold prediction? They're going to...
What do you say, Danny?
I think, and this is just my wild, crazy out there opinion, one man's not walking out of this. I think this is a grudge match for the ages, and we're only going to see one man come out of this, and my money is on that one man being the Joker.
Well, I hate to disagree with you, Danny, and I can tell we're already going to be at loggerheads, but I can't help but say that there's no chance of that whatsoever. I think Batman has got the moxie. I think he's got the gadgets. I think he's got all the wonderful toys, and I think that any way you slice it, one of these men will be laughing at the end, and it will not matter if he wins, but he's just not going to.
Batman's a cheater. He has to rely on his special tricks and his fancy toys like you mentioned. Joker, on the other hand, he's all moxie. He's all two hands, and he's got a winning face. He's got a chin that can take a punch, and Batman, to me, he's got a weak chin. One punch, Batman's down.
So to Danny Nixon, a winning face is one with a smile stuck on it for all eternity. Well, let's go ahead and get into things, folks. It looks like we are about to start getting the background reel, so let's go ahead and get right into that. And we're going to be doing that right now.
We can always... And at the beginning, we're seeing our wonderful, wonderful sponsor for tonight's main event, Warner Brothers, home of such wonderful cartoons as Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd.
And you know, Danny, you just can't watch a Warner Brothers fight without a Warner Brothers ball cap.
Absolutely not. In fact, I've got my Warner Brothers ball cap on right now. And if we were on camera right now, you would all be able to gaze at the wonderful, wonderful hat I'm wearing, sponsored by the one and only Warner Brothers.
So I'm wondering, Danny, if what we're looking at here might end up being the final arena for the match. I honestly didn't get any notes on this ahead of time. I have no idea what we're looking at right now.
No, I haven't. Are we in the fight camp of perhaps Batman or maybe even the Joker? Because
more likely to be Batman, given those big, tall ears there.
I agree.
This looks like his kind of atmosphere.
Agreed, and Joker's got much more class and much more taste than they have all these dirty, disgusting points everywhere that are just a safety hazard. Whoever approved these buildings must be on the payroll of someone corrupt and dirty like Bruce Wayne to approve all these horribly unsafe structures everywhere.
Interesting how Danny is coming out fighting before either of our opposing contenders tonight, because we don't even know yet, Danny, if this is indeed said arena or one of the camps for our contenders tonight. But I gotta, and I hate to do it again, Danny, I gotta disagree with you. I feel like it's more likely that this is Batman's place, and well, you said that if it is, it's all dirty and grimy, and the Joker's better than that. But it would make sense for Batman to work out in a place like this because there are so little distractions, and Joker is constantly surrounding himself with things that I would think would make it difficult to keep a clear head.
See, that's the strategy. Cap. He's going into this environment that's all chaotic and all clustered, and there's things going around, so he can sharpen his mind, so he can get prepared for anything and everything that Batman throws at him, because Joker is the far superior athlete and the far superior cerebral tactician.
So if that is where Batman's training, it's amazing that the entire thing is shaped like his symbol, and it looks as though perhaps Warner Brothers itself has decided who it's rooting for, given that we've seen his symbol already and not the Joker's.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't want to be rude to our gracious sponsor, but it's kind of tactless to be so forefront with who you're supporting there, Warner Brothers, if that is your real corporate name.
So we're setting up the stage here, giving the audience a good look at Gotham City. And Danny, I hadn't been to this city in a long time, but I've been here about a week preparing for this, and I've been really enjoying my time back in the city.
Well, this is my first time back here, and I must say, Cap, I am not liking it at all. It's grimy, it's dingy, it feels like there's only a two square block radius. It's just pathetic for a big town. I can't imagine how anyone lives here, and it's certainly not for the Gotham City Knights, that horrible, horrible football team.
Well, Danny, speaking as someone that doesn't have the best sense of direction, I really enjoy going to a large city and having no trouble whatsoever getting around.
Yeah, it's just all you tourists ruining the place. I bet all this trash is from more tourists.
Well, and speaking of tourists, these people here seem to be worried that they might be picked off as tourists. We're getting, I think, a setup here for Batman's motivation, so we'll understand why he's doing what he's doing and what his ideological opposition is to the Joker.
Nah, I think he's just after their money. He spots tourists a mile away, he's gonna pickpocket them.
Danny is the J. Jonah Jameson for Batman.
I want pictures of Batman.
So when you see grime all over the city, I see atmosphere, Danny. I see panache, and I see character.
I see a town that is failing so bad economically that it couldn't afford to pay for its sanitation units.
And there he is. There's our inevitable victor, Danny.
Yeah, inevitable. Yeah, he'll be the one lying with his shoulders on the mat for the 1, the 2, the 3, because the Joker is the one who's going to win here tonight at the Gotham City Showdown.
Well, we shall see, Danny. We shall see. It's interesting. In my many years of commentating on this sport, Danny, I don't think I have ever seen so many people who don't believe that one of the contenders exists.
Well, he's a very uninspiring, unmemorable character, he is, so I can't imagine why anyone wouldn't just immediately put him out of their mind, because he's replaceable. He's unimportant. He's just he's a bat. He just, well, Danny, what's wrong with him?
I would call it strategy before I call it people just putting him out of their mind. It seems to be easier for him to do what he does if fewer people know about him, and I certainly appreciate a fighter who isn't interested in glory so much as in getting the job done. Getting the job done.
Look at him. He came across 2 helpless, innocent people who were just minding their business, counting their money from a hard day's work of robbing people, and now he's going to steal their money, sucker punch them from behind. It's horrible. It's despicable. What on earth is Gotham City Police Department doing if they're not arresting this man for assaulting 2 innocent people of Gotham City? These are citizens of Gotham City, and he's just assaulting. Look, he's got one man tied up like a pig. It's disgusting.
I have to say, I question your priorities, Danny, given that you don't seem to have any problem with a couple of thugs robbing people, but you want Batman arrested for a thing that you don't even know he is attempting to do right now. All he seems to care about in the moment is the right people knowing who he is. I mean, certainly, as I said earlier, I would hate to contradict myself, Danny, but Batman operates really well in the shadows, but he needs to get some clout so that he can have some people behind him when he gets in the ring, certainly.
Oh, look!
Which I think is also what the branding is about.
He attacked that poor guy And the second that one guy gets free...
That poor guy attacked a poor couple!
He's still a poor guy. Look at him counting his money. He had to rob people for money. Of course he's poor. And Batman just runs away once that poor man gets a chance to defend himself. It's despicable. I hope Mayor... What's the mayor of this city's name? I haven't been in Gotham in quite some time, and I'm not caught up on my internal politics here in Gotham City, but that doesn't matter because we have Harvey Dent, a wonderful, upstanding individual who, when you see his face, you know exactly who he is.
Oh, his name is Mayor Borg, which is somewhat disconcerting.
I wonder if his parents were Star Trek fans.
Yeah, he must have... Well, not at this point in time.
What exactly is the point in time here? I thought it was 2018.
Well, yeah, we're kind of lost in time, certainly. Well, let me retract that. I don't know what I'm talking about.
See, Cap, this is why I am the superior commentator here. I know my dates and times. I may not know my mayors, but I know my dates and times.
He was elected last Tuesday. I just looked that up. So, here's Danny's boy.
Absolutely.
Jack Napier.
My boy, my man,
he
the
becomes
Joker.
the Joker. Somewhat of a nobody, somewhat of a pathetic right-hand man for Carl Grissom. He's kind of just a guy, and will eventually build a big fan following just because of his kooky makeup and bright getup. He's kind of nothing, really.
I find that offensive. He is not just some right-hand man. He is Grissom's number one guy, as we'll hear him say later. And to demean him and besmirch the good name of Jack Napier and saying he's just a gimmick, he's just a man with makeup is horrifyingly biased on your part, Cap. We are commentators. We are meant to be unbiased and give solely the facts. How dare you, Captain?
Well, say one nice thing about Batman.
He's a man.
That is just giving the facts, but you've just been besmirching his name ever since we started. And I say one negative thing against Jack Napier, and furthermore, Carl Grissom is going to attempt to kill him.
Well, that speaks more on the character of Grissom than Jack Napier, I would say.
Well, it doesn't surprise me, Danny, that a guy who doesn't have any problem with people robbing families in the middle of the night also doesn't have a problem with sleeping around with other people's girlfriends.
Hey, you do what you gotta do. It's all strategy from Jack Napier, soon to be known as the Joker, and I gotta say, it's smart. He's working his way up the tops of the rank, one girlfriend at a time.
So are you suggesting that all of this is a plan for him to become the Joker in the first place?
No, I think this is a plan for him to become the leader of a criminal organization, if we must call it that, because sadly money laundering is still a crime in this environment. The laws need to be changed, Mayor Borg. Put your mind to work and get that law changed. But anyways, if it wasn't for that no good rotten Batman, he wouldn't be the Joker. He'd just be a normal everyday crime boss that you see in the streets, in the stores every single day, who smiles and waves at you and maybe takes a $5 or $10 bill out of your purse for protection. But you know what? That's just the price of living in Gotham City.
You know, Dan, I've never called a fight with you before, and I gotta say, I'm starting to question your integrity, and...
How dare you, sir? My integrity is perfect. I am the most unbiased, call it right down the middle commentator in the entire sport of fighting.
I would really recommend folks do their due diligence and research on this other commentator we have this evening before you start backing his boy, because a guy who calls Gotham City too grimy and not a good place to live, but has no problem with his choice of Victor tonight doing things we've already seen him do, much less everything he's going to do later on in this reel. I gotta say, Danny, I really question everything about you.
How dare you? Captain, are you even a captain?
Well, that title was bestowed upon me by the by the superhero supervillain fight league, as you know, years ago when I was a lightweight competitor myself.
Well, you may be a captain, but I'm a Danny. And I don't know if you know anything about service here in the fight league, but a Danny ranks above a captain.
Oh, so your first name is Nixon, then. All right.
No, my first name is actually Andrew, but I am Nick's son. So I am Danny, Nick's son.
All right, sure.
It's a very confusing way of ranking people here in the Fight League. I don't make the rules, I just follow them.
For those of you that are not familiar with Danny Nixon, he was once known as Danny Bonesaw Nixon.
And I am ready.
So we're getting some background here on the journalism community, and they have been, some of them siding more with Batman, some of them siding with the Joker. Again, at the moment, some of them just trying to figure out if Batman even exists in the first place.
Well, if he does, I'd imagine he looks exactly like that wonderful, beautiful illustration that perfectly captures that hideous face that must be hidden underneath that cowl, because after all, why on earth would anyone cover their face with anything unless they were hideously deformed?
Well, as you know already, Danny, Batman is just a man. We will see him here in just a couple of moments.
But are we seeing his real face? Could that not also be a mask? I mean, he's a millionaire, a billionaire maybe even. We don't really know his true wealth because he hasn't released his tax forms like are required by the Fight League, but I digress.
I think Danny needs a few reforms himself.
I actually went to reform school, believe it or not.
I believe you might have gotten kicked out of reform school.
I went there for a party. I didn't get in. They kicked me out.
That's not surprising at all, Danny. I'm really wondering who the league is saddled me with this evening.
I, luckily, am union, so they haven't saddled you with anyone. They've saddled me with someone. I have to be here. You, yeah.
I would take everything this conspiracy theorist says with a grain of salt.
I actually have a bridge in, excuse me. I have oceanfront property in Arizona that I'd like to sell you later after the show tonight, Captain. Getting my metaphors mixed
I believe
up
that more than I believe you have a bridge.
Well, you got to have a bridge to get to that oceanfront property.
Oh, I see. Sure.
The bridge thing was just me bragging. I have a bridge, But I've also got this oceanfront property that I'd like to sell you. Totally unrelated matter.
So, I think that your contender is a little bit overly obsessed with playing card iconography. I'm not sure what that's about. He has kind of a fixation.
You call it a fixation. I call it an appreciation for the playing card arts. He's admiring...
Yeah, he has an appreciation for some other things here as well.
Hey,
including...
What man wouldn't appreciate someone as lovely as the beautiful Alicia?
I'm just going to let that hang there.
Hang there like a bat, like Batman, who will be hanging by the ropes after Jack Napier is done with him.
At least the obsession from my guy helps him out in the ring. I don't know what the playing card thing does for your guy.
You can't get in the mind of someone as strategically smart as Jack Napier. We don't know all the tricks in his book because he hasn't given us his playbook to look at. He's keeping some of his cards up his sleeve so his opponent doesn't know everything going into this fight. You can't telegraph everything, Cap. You, as someone who was once in the league, should know that.
I'll telegraph this. His lucky deck ain't going to be that lucky.
In this one instance, I'm sad to say that you're right.
I mean for the whole kit and caboodle, pal.
No, I think he had one slip up. He took 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and he's about to take 10 gigantic leaps forward, and we're going to see bright things in the future of Jack Napier here at the Gotham City Showdown.
Well, I predict he's going to take a leap right off a building, but we'll see.
It's a horrible metaphor. No one's ever used that metaphor in their lifetime, Captain.
Well, I pride myself on being original.
Well, you should pride yourself on copying from the greats like myself. People like me are who you should be looking up to, who you should be aspiring to be like here in the world of commentary.
Here we are in Bruce Wayne's house. He is a real charitable guy. He's trying to save the Gotham City Festival, and he has some real good causes for that he's playing for.
If he was truly charitable, he'd be donating all the rich, fancy pants china and using the money to fund this. Look at all the gaudy stuff he's got in this place. He could sell some of that, have 1,000 more rooms filled with stuff he's never even seen before, and not miss a thing, and still be able to completely fund the festival and the parade.
Wealth is very relative. You have no idea how much other stuff he might have had before he got rid of that, and you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of others.
Yes, well, when taking care of yourself involves having rooms that you've never even seen before, I guess, I have a different set of standards.
Yeah, and the way your guy takes care of himself is he takes it from everybody else. He takes from the rich and he gives to himself.
Yes, he's like a very, very wonderful Robin Hood.
Yeah, no, once again, from the rich, give him to himself.
Well, you got to get paid for your work somehow. You can't just do everything for charity.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if maybe both of our guys are kind of horrible psychopaths, but I've chosen my guys, so I'm going to stick with it.
Not me. My guy, he is perfectly sane. He is not a psychopath, and I hope he sues you for libel.
Well, I didn't say it in print, so it's slander.
I'll get the transcripts of this made up, and then he can sue you for libel.
I would consider calling this craps game since there's not a whole lot going on right now, but we can't actually see the rolls of the dice. So
and that just, to me, speaks to the corruption of Gotham City Police Department. How do we know if they're actually winning this money if we can't see the dice as they land on the craps table? It's horrifying. This entire city needs an enema.
What do you care about corruption? Your guy takes over the mob!
The mob isn't corrupt. Come on, it's a family, Captain. Come on.
It's the mob!
It's a family organization. It's a family business. It's a mom and pop shop.
Danny also once belonged to both the League of Shadows and the Foot Clan.
Allegedly.
Little known fact.
I'm not at liberty to discuss my potential involvement or no involvement at all in either of those organizations.
Just Google Danny Bonesaw Nixon. See what pops up.
Absolutely nothing would pop up under that name,
I just
Captain.
did that. It was horrifying. and all the viruses.
Not only do I have wonderful oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you, I've also got a wonderful antivirus software for your computer that's only $49.99 per day. It's a great deal.
So here we're finding out that Bruce Wayne
is a weirdo.
that Bruce Wayne is really cultured and is interested in other places in the world, and he's really knowledgeable, and he keeps up with current events. Unlike the Joker, who is very much in his own head and just interested in himself and really just screwing with people.
You call it cultured, I call it weird. Why have so many metal suits? It's just weird. It's tacky. It's gaudy. It's dangerous. Look at all those things. A poor child could run in there and get hurt. What if he has children someday, God forbid?
Well, then I would imagine he would put locks on his doors. That's neither here nor there. But it seems to me that Batman is trying to... That Bruce Wayne here, Batman, is trying to add to the culture while yours in his homicidal artistic endeavors is trying to pervert it.
You call
He's an absolute mockery, both of culture in general, of American culture, of Gotham culture, but he's a mockery of this league.
All of the greatest artists in the world have been people...
We're homicidal, good to know.
Absolutely. But all of the greatest artists in the world have been controversial, and they've done things that skirt the edges of what society deems acceptable. And Joker is no different. He is a visionary. He is the world's first homicidal artist, and he is wonderful, and I hope someday he can make me a painting. Literally.
Well, there's a middle picture I'll never get out of my head. Danny, I don't understand how you can argue that my guy plays against the rules when yours is, by his own admission and yours, and you called it wonderful, a killer.
I didn't say killer, I said homicidal artist. It's different. Being a homicidal artist is not against the law.
He's a killer artist!
Yes, he
is.
The
motivations for his art make no difference. He's killing people!
He is absolutely a killer artist because he is incredibly
he
talented.
In and in the ring!
You call it murder.
And you, sir, cry corruption.
I do cry corruption. I cry myself to sleep over corruption every single night because I am a citizen who cares about Gotham City.
But not, apparently, about people who are homicidal. I question your parentage, sir.
My parentage? I am not a parent, sir. I have never had a child in my life that I know of.
I question your education.
Like I told you, I went to reform school
and your
that one night. Look at this man. He's got this outdated, weird TV/computer. And I'm sure if we saw his keyboard, they'd be giant buttons with nothing written on them. It's just weird. He's a weird individual.
Everything here in Gotham looks a little bit out of time, though, which is why momentarily I thought we were in the past.
It feels that way
because though we had stepped into a time machine, and you can't blame Bruce Wayne for that. And your guy wears hats right out of the 50s.
Well, what can I say? Gotham City is very behind the times. It's very, very culturally outdated. It's very regressive. It's like it got stuck in some kind of weird time warp.
Part of your reason for backing your guy is because you don't like the city he's fighting in.
I did not say that. You inferred that.
That's what it sounds like. You implied it.
That's horrible journalistic integrity, Captain.
Well, this hasn't been about journalism this entire time, as far as I can tell.
You're not even a real journalism.
No, I'm not real journalism. I'm a person who does journalism.
Well, I pride myself on being a real journalism. Thank you very much, Captain.
Like, I can win a word war with you all day long.
Well, luckily we're not playing Scrabble. We're in the Gotham City Showdown.
Also, my guy is much better dressed than yours.
I just have to disagree. My guy...
What a shocker!
My guy is dressed to the nines in a beautiful fuchsia three-piece suit, while your guy is running around in some spandex. It's just tacky. You shouldn't be going out in public with your bare chest exposed through the plastic. It's horrifying.
Okay, that's called sculpting on multiple levels.
Well, it's gaudy. Why do you need to show people a sculpted version of your chest? Are you that insecure about your own pectorials?
It should also impress you that my guy is so... And by the way, you said that I was too biased for having a guy, but you immediately came out swinging against mine. You know, for the record, I had planned on calling this completely neutrally until you came out immediately against Batman, and I felt the need to put my cards, as it were, pun intended, on the table. But nevertheless, I digress. Impressive that my guy is able to wear such a restrictive costume and still put the smack down on your guy.
I bet he can't even lift his head above his head, his arms above his head. He probably can't lift.
He doesn't need to. He can beat your guy with both of his arms tied almost behind his back.
I beg to differ. Look at my man. He's strategizing. He takes an axe right to those deadly chemicals so he can create some more of his pre-homicidal art. It's glorious. It's a wonderful, wonderful display of strategy here at the Gotham City Showdown.
Would you still be as impressed with Jack Napier if he had never become Batman, or if he had never become the Joker?
I would be more impressed if he hadn't become the Joker, because this horrible Batman.
Also, you admit it. You're already saying he's not as cool as he could be. He became the Joker. There's something wrong with that.
Yes,
it's
and
disturbing.
The thing that's wrong with that is that Batman pushes him off of a ledge.
He doesn't push him. He tries to save him. We'll see it here in just a moment. In the preview reel.
Your facts and letting those get in the way of a good story. How dare you? We're supposed to be commentators. We're supposed to commentate. We're not supposed to present facts. What are you doing?
You just said earlier the whole problem with me was that I wasn't presenting facts, and I've given quite a few more, and in a less biased way than you have.
Well, facts are subjective, Captain.
In the last 30 minutes.
See,
why am I sitting here why am I bothering with this guy? If I had the capability, I would turn off his microphone.
Well, then I would just get a megaphone. See? Much like my boy Jack Napier, I can always adapt.
Yeah, well done. Good one.
See, look at this. He disappears. He just runs away like a coward. All Jack Napier was doing was retrieving his own possession, and Batman runs away. Because he no longer has the element of surprise. It's pathetic.
You do realize that all these things have happened already, right? And for those of you tuning in at home, of course, we'll be getting to the actual fight here in about another 20 minutes to half an hour. But this is just the preview reel, again, to give everyone a sense of who these men are and what they're all about. Did you not watch the material ahead of time? You not even know anything about these guys? Batman didn't run away. Look, there he is. He's right there.
Of course I watched it, but it's just so horrifying to see what Batman does to this poor, innocent Jack Napier that it's just so hard to watch. And I'm sorry that I get emotional because I care about human beings, Captain.
Well, apparently when you get emotional, you also completely forget about what the facts are and how things went down. He didn't run away! What are you talking about?
Well, like I said, facts are completely subjective. So what you're seeing and what I'm seeing may be two completely different things.
I'm just not going to dignify such nonsense with a response. You are
I left you
your
speechless.
own grave, Bonesaw.
Saws don't dig, Captain. So your metaphor once again fails.
Yeah, okay, you're pouring your own acid bucket then. You poured it. And yeah, if I could knock you in it right now, I would, honestly. I'm like, this is such a waste of time.
I'm going to report you to the Union for threatening me with bodily harm. How dare you, sir?
No, I said if I could, I would. I can't, so I won't.
I will see that at the next Gotham City Showdown, I am doing this commentary all by myself, which will be much more enjoyable for the people watching at home. I am sure of
well, that sounds to me like the first pay-per-view event in history that would get 0 views.
Obviously, you're not familiar with the Metropolis City Showdown, which got 0 views because nothing of importance ever happens in Metropolis. So, obviously it would be the first thing. So once again, your journalism fails.
Says relative fact, man. That thing broke records and you know it.
It did not.
And you know it!
I know nothing.
Clearly! Dude, you know that the arena sells out every time Metallo shows up. You know that!
Like I said, I know nothing of this Metallo. I know nothing of this arena.
Such a waste of time. You know, if we have anybody left at the end of this, I'll be real surprised.
I won't be, because I'm still here to provide this entertaining commentary to the millions of people who love to hear my voice.
I bet a lot of people just go out and get a hamburger, and then they come back like in time to watch the actual fight, and they mute us because this conversation is so completely pointless.
Or maybe they ran out to go get some of that wonderful soup, which I must give Alfred credit, as much as it pains me to give credit to anyone associated with Bruce Wayne. That does look like a mighty fine soup. So, well done, Alfred.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you've actually been there and eaten it. Danny has been in this room before.
I apparently am the only one who's ever been in that room before. Not that I've ever been there.
Yeah, I gotta say, I really appreciate a guy who realizes when he's too grand. You know, like Bruce Wayne may have a lot of money and he may be a bit eccentric, and I will see, and I will certainly concede that point. But when his table is too long, he's gonna leave the room.
I completely disagree with you. He is a complete and total.
You would disagree with me if
creep.
I said this. The sky was black right now.
Well, yes, because it's red in Gotham City. Everybody knows that. But I would completely disagree with the assumption that he is, or the assertion that he is eccentric. I find him creepy. Just look at the body language on her. She sat all the way at the other side of the table to be as far away from him as she possibly could. And I don't blame her. This man is a creep. He's a degenerate. He is the worst thing Gotham City has produced since The Mask of Zorro.
Your interpretations, sir, are Alex Jones worthy. Like, the table is clearly just this big long table that he didn't know he was going to get sat at, and then he left the room. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what's actually going on here. It's the subtext, Captain. She wanted to get as far away from him as she could because she felt creeped out.
Which is why she's sitting right next to him now, why she's going to get drunk with him here in a couple of minutes and lose a shoe, and why she's going to sleep with him.
Look at her body language. She's leaning away from him. She hasn't touched her drink once. Meanwhile, he's filling it up for her.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but I'm not sorry for interrupting. I want to mention that Bruce Wayne is partly going to be fighting as Batman for the love of his life. Meanwhile, Joker is going to be fighting having probably knocked his girlfriend out a window.
Hey, sometimes you gotta drop the dead weight.
And even if he didn't do it on purpose, he was so horrible to her, she probably killed herself. One of those two things happened.
That is a horrible, horrible subject to joke about, Captain. How dare you?
I'm not joking. I'm just saying that probably happened. And furthermore, when you're like dead weight later on, he's going to say you can't break an omelet without making eggs, and it seems to me that Danny Nixon agrees with that.
Well, I've never broken an omelet by making eggs, but I have made an omelet by breaking eggs.
Oh, did I invert that?
You did. See, your journalistic integrity and your commentary ability.
Reverse it.
No, it's too late. We're live, Captain. You can't strike it and reverse it. You can only go forward.
I know we're having a bit of a verbal tete-a-tete here, something of a fight before the fight begins. But Danny, well, I've lost my train of thought.
Well,
I'm getting a little bit upset having to sit here in the same room with this yahoo.
I know
what I was gonna say. Yeah, this is my insult, Danny. You might not like I might occasionally make a mistake, but you are a mistake. You're just a mistake in the first place.
That is very rude, Captain.
You started this whole thing off as a giant mistake.
I can't believe you would say something so cruel to me. We are here to do a job. I am trying to be as professional as I can, and you are making this a very hostile work environment for me. Captain, I am going to report you to the Union here at the Gotham City Showdown.
You do that. I bet 6 seconds of cursory research will dig up 15 bodies.
No, I hid those very well. I mean, there are no bodies to find.
So once again, my guy is a little bit eccentric. I will concede that point.
Eccentric. She's trying to choke him right now to get him away from her.
Once again, Danny with his brilliant assertions of subtext.
Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. It is very nice to see that you have been able to put your negative feelings towards me aside to give me such a wonderful compliment.
I don't know how you can sleep at night and not feel completely embarrassed saying that kind of nonsense in front of millions of people.
I tend to sleep on my stomach with my head tilted and my arm resting off the bed, but that's a very weird question to ask live on pay-per-view at the Gotham City Showdown.
It's funny how when you don't like something somebody says, you just go to the cue cards.
They're actually are cards, because they come right after the cue cards.
So, we got an example of Bruce Wayne's fighting technique at the beginning of this reel. I'm sure live tonight we're going to see some batarang throwing. I'm sure we're going to see some lurking in the shadows from my boy Batman. This is going to be the first sense we get of his opponent's fighting style. And Danny complains that my guy just uses gadgets. I don't know what the problem is when his just uses guns.
Guns aren't gadgets. Guns are guns. Duh.
Yes, but your complaint was that he wasn't relying on sheer fisticuffs.
Well, he has no cuffs. He's just got fists, so I don't see what you're talking about. He may have cuff links, but he has no cuffs. But he does have a gun. And a gun beats a gadget every single time.
A standard, pathetic leap in logic. Like all when Danny doesn't like something I say and he doesn't want to actually argue the point, he just immediately goes for absurd literalism, which everyone can see through.
It's actually very opaque, so I don't think anybody can see through it.
It's again, point taken. Like, point set match. No reason for me to continue. I will say, your guy has interesting choice in music.
He's got wonderful taste in the musical arts. He is a man who appreciates arts of any form, whether it's a painting, homicidal art, or music.
I wonder what he would have been like if he was a homicidal musician.
Probably killing people with wind instruments. Just a guess.
Never thought I would see a guy who liked classical music and Prince and nothing else.
He's a man of very eccentric taste, to use your word.
And probably carousel music. I also see the Joker as a carousel music guy.
I do too, oddly enough. See, we can agree on something.
Oh, well, we agreed on one thing, sure.
Can we also agree on the fact that it is ridiculously weird to
He's
hang
training.
upside down?
He's training. He's clearly training.
Training to get beaten.
He's got to use
Joker.
every second. Well, your guy's trained to fall off a roof. And no, not a metaphor. That's my prediction. Gonna fall off a roof.
I disagree. I think at the end of tonight, we will see Joker standing victorious over the fallen Batman. If that is his real name.
At least my guy doesn't say oop oop.
Well, your guy just says two words, I'm and Batman.
Yeah, real straightforward, my guy.
Yeah, well, my guy can speak multiple languages. Do you even know what oop oop means translated to English?
No, enlighten me!
It's actually a translation of the entire text of Shakespeare's Macbeth.
That's fascinating.
It is very fascinating.
And complete nonsense.
How dare you? How dare you refer to the wonderful language of oop-oopism as nonsense? That is...
Wait, really? The whole language is just to do a Shakespeare play? Oh, okay.
No, are you familiar with Groot? It's very similar.
It's like that, is it? Okay.
Similar. Yes.
All right. So it's just with two words.
Yes.
Actually, one word said twice.
No, it's actually two different words. The first one starts with a Q, which is silent. Second word starts with an M, which is also silent. There are a lot of silent letters in oop-oopism.
Yeah, I'm getting exhausted fact-checking you.
Why?
So
can you not just trust the words that are coming out of my mouth? Do you feel like you must fact-check me at every step?
Yeah. You know why? 'Cause you're a liar.
How dare you, sir? I have never told a lie in my life.
You know, I'm confident enough in everything I've said that I've not felt the need one time during this commentary to say, how dare you, sir?
How dare you, sir?
Not one time! By the way, you know how... Oh, and I just gotta say, your guy is absolutely mortifying. Like, I will give him that this giant grin thing
it's working
is
for him.
distracting, and like in a very different way from Batman, he's pretty intimidating. But is it really worth sticking that on your face for all eternity? You know, like your mom says, like, don't wear your face like that or it'll get stuck that way. I'm not convinced that going to the vat of acid is what caused that. I think he did that to win a fight. I really do.
See, I think that is the unfortunate side effect of an assault by the Batman and dropping him in to acid. He is the victim of body mutilation at the hands of Batman.
So, will you not concede then that regardless of who might have caused the accident, that perhaps your guy is absolutely insane and shouldn't even be allowed in the ring?
Absolutely not. Just because the man has some physical deformities does not make him insane. That is very, very rude of you.
No, I think the fact that he's insane makes him insane.
Well, insanity is relative.
Like facts.
No, facts are subjective.
Oh, right. You know how just a couple of minutes ago you said that, oh, by the way, your guy kills people, my guy doesn't, on purpose.
He's a homicidal artist. It's very different than murder.
It's justified when my guy does it. It's to protect innocent people. Doesn't happen very often. Yours just does it because it's fun.
Well, have you ever tried it? Would you know if it's fun?
No, but he clearly seems to think it is. You know how just
Don't
a
make
couple
assumptions
of minutes...
about his motivations. That's very uncommentary-ish of you.
That was really articulate.
Thank you.
So, you know, just a couple of minutes ago, sarcasm! You said that your guy was definitely going to win and not get knocked off a roof by my guy. I just want to remind you of all of the unfortunate authors who have put out books saying when exactly the world is going to end. You're going to be one of those by the end of this evening.
Well, yeah, of course I am, because I know when the world's going to end. So, thank you for allowing me this opportunity to plug my new book called The World is Going to End on This Day, and you must purchase it to find out what that day is. Hint, hint, it's either in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, or December.
Does the book actually tell you the day, or is it just in subtext?
Well, yeah, you gotta read the subtext to figure it out. I mean, have you never read a book with subtext before? Come on.
So once again, you like to complain that my guy doesn't follow the rules. Yours just filleted a man alive!
He didn't fillet him, he barbecued him. He didn't remove his bones.
How's that okay?
Obviously, because his spine's still intact, he's still fine. That's the rules here in the Fight League. As long as the spine's still there, you're good.
But he's glad he's dead!
Well, maybe he stole his lunch money in kindergarten. You never know.
And that makes it okay, does it?
It absolutely does.
Man, I thought that this was just a friendly bout, but you're out for blood along with your contender.
He's not out for blood. He's out for the laughs, for the chuckles, for the ha-has. He's out for the funny moments in life.
I really feel like if I showed you a painting right now of a man, like, bleeding to death all over a sidewalk, you would crack up incessantly. Well, that's the sense I get.
I'd assume that guy also cracked up if he's bleeding on the sidewalk. So yes, maybe I would crack up as well.
Somebody really needs to check the trunk of your car. That's all I'm saying.
I actually drive a truck, so there is no trunk. Check and mate.
I don't even want to know what you think of Vicky Vale, considering that your guy is going to kidnap her.
I think she's a fine, wonderful photographer, and he doesn't kidnap her. He brings her back to his place to show her his portfolio as an artist, because artists of a like mind tend to get along, and just because he came and picked her up like a gentleman does not make it kidnapping.
Okay, well, I call that semantics. How about the part where we're gonna watch him try to kill her with acid?
He's not going to try to kill her. He's going to make her in his own image. He is like God. He is like a deity.
Are you making this Are you making this argument right now? Are you making the argument that your guy is God?
I am. And I stand by that. He is omnipotent.
Man, you do a lot of my work for me.
Well, yes,
really, I
because
thought
I do
we
the
were
work
just...
of two commentators as
I
one.
thought we
I am
were-
very skilled.
I thought we were just going to call a fight. I'm fighting it my civic duty to stop you as much as possible.
And I find it my civic duty to unleash the wonders of the Joker onto all of our millions of viewers of the Gotham City Showdown. Sponsored by Warner Brothers.
Like, I know your guy ultimately is going to try to kill everyone. Like, I know you don't believe that, but based on everything he's done so far that we're watching with this sizzle reel, it seems like a foregone conclusion that all of this is going to end in tears, and that even before they get in the ring, the Joker is going to try to murder everyone in the city that he can. But I just want you to know, Danny, I've not come here to die with my city. I've come to stop you.
Well, I don't see why you'd be stopping me because, as you just said, I'm doing your work for you. I'm doing the work of two commentators as one, so stopping me seems kind of pointless. I'm making your job easier for you. So why would you want to stop me unless you just are a glutton for punishment? You sick freak.
You just don't know what words mean, is the sense I'm getting from you, Bonesaw. When I said you're doing my work for me, I meant you're making yourself look like an idiot, and I don't have to say things that come to mind. You should take a page out of these guys' books. You should become a mime. I would like you 500 times more were you a mime.
As you can tell, I'm
nothing
miming.
to say.
I'm a mime in a box.
Yeah, we're only on audio, so the millions of viewers we have that I'm sure has dwindled down to a mere, 250,000.
I'm sure it shot up to the billions. And I'll have you know, I've been told I have a face made for radio and a voice made for Telegram.
And, even if it weren't the case that we increased our viewership with this, Danny would still say that we did, because he doesn't care about the truth.
Yes. Numbers, much like facts, are subjective.
Well, at least we agreed on something else. You will make up anything.
Yes, because I am a creator, so I do enjoy making things.
Just be a mime. Be a mime! So if the pen is mightier than the sword, I wonder if your guy won't bring one to the fight.
No, why on earth would he bring a sword when the pen is mightier than it? That just seems
No, I
stupid.
meant a pen! I mean, he should bring a pen! It seems to be the only thing he's good with.
He's good with guns.
Well, that's true. He didn't murder his boss with a gun. I guess he is decent with guns.
He created
but my guy is
homicidal art.
bulletproof.
He's got that.
So
it's a trademarked thing. It's completely legal. It is not in any way similar to murder. It's homicidal art.
So are you saying that this TV he just punched is like a $20,000 piece now?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Who's this bozo he's got working for him?
That is his number one guy, Bob the Goon. And I gotta say, I see a lot of potential in Bob the Goon. If he keeps his head on straight and follows along with anything and everything that the Joker tells him, he has a bright future ahead of him here at the Gotham City Showdown.
Your guy has goons. That's all I'm gonna say.
He
Batman
has a
needs
goon.
no goons. He has Alfred. That's not a goon.
He has...
That's a butler.
No, Joker only has one goon. Bob the Goon. One goon.
He has other goons. They just don't feel the need to call themselves goons.
Because they're not goons. They're henchmen.
And by the way, Bob the Goon is just what it says on all the pre-fight posters with him. I don't know why those are there. He's not even going in the ring, but we've been selling them. We've been selling this thing on him. I don't know why that is, but at no point in this reel will you hear anyone refer to him as Bob the Goon.
Because he's
Capital T, capital G.
Because he's a man of immense aura. When he walks in a room, you know who he is. You don't need to say his name. Unlike Batman, who has to go around everywhere saying, I'm Batman, I'm Batman, I'm Batman. Yeah, we get it. You got weird pointy ears and you're Batman.
He said that one time in his entire career.
I've heard him say it multiple times. In fact, I think I've seen a couple movies where he said it. He's so egotistical, he's got to be in his own movies.
In your dreams where he's haunting you.
He is haunting me because that face is horrifying.
Yeah, that's how he strikes fear into the hearts of psychopaths like you.
And the decent, innocent people of Gotham City, like the Joker. You can't forget those wonderful, innocent people who just happen to live.
Homicidal people that murder their boss after they sleep with their girlfriend and then fillet a man alive and...
Oh, ye without sins cast the first stone.
I've never done any of those things.
Well, aren't
also,
you
you suck at quoting the Bible. Bad Bible quoter, bad at everything.
But an excellent commentator here at the Gotham City Showdown.
I also haven't felt the need to say that one time. Like, honestly, I'm kind of done even trying to be a professional with it, because I'm not working with a professional. This might be my last night doing this, honestly. I've got better things to do.
Well, we could all hope that you find employment somewhere else so that I can have the entirety of this program to myself to become the sole commentator for the Gotham City Showdown, so everyone can hear my wonderful voice.
If you don't get hauled out in handcuffs at the end of this, I'll be real surprised.
I will be too. That seems to happen a lot here.
I've been sending emails to various police departments throughout this commentary.
Narc. See.
Also, my guy's not a stalker, and he doesn't cut his girlfriend out of newspapers.
He's not a stalker. He's creating a collage. He's creating art.
Stalker collage!
You call it stalking. I call it admiration.
Couches everything in the... I'm not sorry for interrupting you. In couches everything in art!
Well, everything is art if you make it art.
Why... This is not. I guarantee you.
No, this is chemistry.
Whatever we're creating here is not art.
No, we're creating a commentary, but they're creating chemistry while he's creating art. Try to keep up. I know it's hard.
You know it's hard?
I know it's hard, as in it's hard for you to keep up.
I was hoping you said something that horrifyingly sappy. Man, I would have held that over your head until the cops get here.
So, I must ask you one thing. Could the editing team not have cut out the newsreels? Do we really need to commentate over commentary?
Yeah, I think it's to create kind of a broader sense of the mood and the climate in the city at that time. I mean, not everyone watching this was in Gotham City as these things were going on, and so there's something of a documentary style going on in this reel.
Well, this editor needs to be fired. It's needless.
Well, see, this is behind the scenes. We're seeing the rest of what's going on while the Joker is cutting in here. This was a really important point in history. Honestly, your guy is such a nut job. I don't know why the league is even allowing him to compete. Like, I get that it's superheroes and supervillains, but he's really a supervillain. Like, I don't think we've ever seen anybody that's killed this many people fight for the league.
Just because he's in the League of Supervillains and he is under the supervillains bracket does not make him a supervillain. He is the superhero in this instance, and Batman is obviously the supervillain. What hero, what good guy has ever dressed up like a demon? Meanwhile, he's dressed up like a nice, wholesome clown. It's just very obvious. It's the light versus the dark, and my guy is the light.
You are full of Joker products.
I am. He's got a great hair gel.
I think you should maybe take some of those things that you've bought recently and mix and match them and see what happens.
Yeah, the deodorant and the hair gel work great together, actually. You mix and match, put the deodorant in your hair sometime, put the hair gel on your armpits. It's wonderful.
Just start mixing stuff up, man. Just see how you feel later, Take some of that hairspray and gel and maybe some aftershave.
I will.
Just see what happens.
Thank you for the wonderful grooming advice. I take back 2 of the mean things I've said about you.
Oh, hey, Danny, I just got some copy to read here on air. I've got an ad I got to take care of here. So just momentarily before we get to more of the commentary here. New and improved Joker products with my new secret ingredient, Smilex. Now let's go over to our blind taste test. He don't look... Wait a minute! I'm not gonna read Joker copy. Your guy's trying to commandeer the show with what we just saw already.
Well, he's a man who knows how to promote his product. He probably paid for that airtime like our good sponsors, Warner Brothers, have also paid for their airtime. Speaking of which, it is time that I read the Warner Brothers copy, which is Warner Brothers. That's it. They're very short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah, they're paying Danny also by the number of times he says Warner Brothers.
And Gotham City Showdown.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. I'm not even doing this for monetary reasons anymore. I don't even care if I get paid for this show. This is a complete sham. Like, this is awful. It's really bad.
Well, yeah, because you're here. If I was here to speak freely and openly and espouse my commentary wisdom, it would be a much better show.
Yeah, you've been doing that. It's been very enlightening. It's been real revealing, Danny. Oh, and you know those anchors that we saw a couple minutes ago? You're starting to look pasty like them. I think you should go maybe try some makeup.
I should, because he's got a wonderful concealer right here, and I haven't tried it yet, but it will probably be the next Smilex product I buy.
I also think you could use some hairspray and maybe some underarm deodorant and maybe some toothpaste.
Perhaps I will.
And I think you should use all those things at the same time.
Perhaps I will. It's kind of hard to do that when I've only got 2 hands, but I will try to use them all at the same time if I can.
See if we can take a break here in a few minutes and get that going for you.
Well, luckily, we're here on pay-per-view where there are no commercial interruptions aside from our sponsors.
At the Gotham City Showdown.
See, it's not that hard to plug our event for the people who are watching this event and know what the event is.
Why do so many commentators do that? Where they're just trying to fill time. Like, I can easily fill time and make it interesting and not have any dead air without constantly saying the same phrase over and over again. Gotham City Showdown!
Well, sometimes you just have to let people know where they are.
20 years, I've never felt the need to do that.
Well, maybe you should try and take some advice from a master commentator like myself and plug the show you're on, which for us just happens to be the Gotham City Showdown.
He's a master something. That's for sure.
See, look at my man, the Joker. He's so considerate, he provides a gas mask for her. That Bruce Wayne never provided her with a gas mask, did he?
Yeah, he also didn't gas a whole room full of people.
Well,
his handwriting's better, too.
You've got to break a few omelets to make a few eggs, isn't that right, Captain?
No, I never agreed with that sentiment. I also struck it and reversed it, but...
But we can't strike it and reverse it because we are live at the Gotham City Showdown, sponsored by Warner Brothers.
And Prince. I guess I should probably say that.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah, sponsored by the Prince estate.
It's a shame he never lived to become king.
This guy's so crass. Like, that's not funny. He's so crass. So, yeah, your guy's just, ruining art and stuff.
He's creating art. Have you never heard of Banksy, who shredded his own wonderful work of art and made it worth twice as much? That's what Joker is doing. He's adding his signature so people know who painted this wonderful painting.
Yeah, the false equivalency in that statement is that the guy you're talking about messed up his own stuff!
And he's messing up his own stuff too. After all,
this is not his stuff!
It absolute possession is 9/10 of the law. And in my opinion, he owns this.
Wait, you have a finders keepers mentality about museums?
Absolutely, I do.
I walk into a Walmart, I'm like, found it!
Well, yeah, that's what the gift shop's for. You just pick the painting you want, you go up to the cashier, and boom, you got the painting.
Man, your worldview is fascinating.
Thank you. I have quite renowned and refined taste. As well as the quarter.
Danny's guy still just ruining all the art except for the pieces that he likes.
He's improving them, and that one was obviously so great it didn't need to be improved upon at all.
I gotta tell you, though, with this reel, there are a few places where I'm wondering how we got cameras in.
Well, my own personal conspiracy theory, and I never indulge in conspiracy theories, but this one time I will, is that every single area of Gotham is bugged and is being watched by Big Brother.
Okay, so translation, his guy put cameras everywhere and then gave it to the league so that we could see his motivations and so that everybody could, so that he could, self-aggrandize himself.
Well, he's very considerate to pay for all of the lighting and the cameras and the boom mics so we could see this live on pay-per-view at the Gotham City Showdown.
At the Gotham City Showdown.
Sponsored by Warner Brothers and Smilex.
And the Prince Estate.
And the Prince Estate. They're a very late addition to the sponsors list. I heard we only got them very recently. So they're very late adopters here at the Gotham City Showdown, sponsored by Warner Brothers and Smilex, as well as the Prince Estate.
Yeah, we should probably point out some of the product placement, too. This is a boombox company that's trying not to go out of business.
Hey, Gotham City has a fledgling
Gotham City
boombox industry. They're the only one left in the world, as far as I know, so someone's got to keep them in business, and it might as well be us here at the Gotham City Showdown.
They make boom boxes, they make boom mics, they make boom tubes.
They just make things go boom.
They make things go boom. That's their motto.
They're like Acme. They just make everything. Acme, a subsidiary of Warner Brothers.
He just had to get that in there to try to get paid more. But again, Gotham City Boom trying not to go out of business, so they don't make everything. But they make some fine quality products, so check them out.
Much like Joker makes some fine quality hygiene products. Check out Smilex.
No, really, you should though. Yeah, I think you'll love them.
I think I will too, but I try to remain impartial before I have tested out a product, so I can't speak for certain.
He also makes his girlfriends into horrifying monsters and then makes them commit suicide and or throws them out of building.
Well, beauty is subjective, Captain, and I think she looks magnificent.
Do you like her better when she's a corpse?
She is radiating. Perhaps it's from all of that acid.
You notice how he didn't respond to my question.
I did not hear a question.
I asked you if you liked her better as a corpse.
She's aight.
Once again, no reason to add anything else. So yeah, we're seeing a whole lot of both of these guys, fighting techniques and abilities and arsenals. And I'm sure a lot of these things will be used when we go live to
The
Gotham City Square a little bit later.
Yes, the Gotham City Square will be where we hold the Gotham City Showdown.
The Gotham City Showdown, right.
See, look at this. It's just gadget after gadget after gadget. It's lazy. It shows no ingenuity. It shows no fighting prowess. He's always
uses
running.
Guns and acid. My guy invented all of his own weapons.
See, we saw Joker and all of his henchmen making the acid, so I don't see why you're demeaning his...
But he's got so much ingenuity. He thought of all this stuff ahead of time. Your guy just drives around in a box. Well, mine has this sleek automobile.
It's impractical. Why does a vehicle need to be that long and shoot fire out of the back of it? Mine doesn't do that, except when I forget to get an oil change. But that's besides the point.
Yours doesn't go that fast, and it doesn't command attention away from innocent people. Whom you clearly don't care about, because you've been promoting homicide this entire time.
Homicidal art, it's completely different.
I wouldn't be surprised if Batman himself didn't show up when he inevitably wins the fight to take you in Batcuffs.
Well, he won't be able to because, as we all know, Joker will be the last man standing. See, Batman causing a multi-car pileup due to his reckless driving, endangering the lives of who knows how many innocent Gothamites. It's despicable. It's disgusting. He even ruined those perfectly wonderful cabbages.
Yep, Danny Nixon just cares about the cabbages.
Those were actually my cabbages. I've got stock.
Why do you have cabbages in Gotham City? This is the first time we've ever been here.
It doesn't mean I can't have stocks. I've diversified my stock portfolio and invested heavily in the Gotham City cabbage industry.
Gotham cabbage?
Yes, it's a very booming industry because they have partnered recently with that boom mic company that we sponsored earlier in the show.
Gotham City, but yeah, nicely played.
See, you got to work on your plugging abilities when it comes to being a commentator. It is the single most important job you can have when you're a commentator.
Oh, I've got the ability.
Showdown.
I've got the ability. I'm just in the Prince Estate. I've got the ability, but I'm not even exercising it right now because this is the most baloney thing I have ever taken part in.
Cap, we all know the only exercising you're doing is running your mouth and jumping to conclusions.
Well, to be fair, I'm also upside down right now.
You're in over your head.
Because I've been trying Bruce Wayne's exercise regimen, and it works really well.
I will give him...
You wouldn't believe my glutes right now.
One compliment, and it is great for relieving your back pain, which I have tons of, and will continue to have tons of, because I am carrying this commentator team by myself and my excellent commentary abilities.
Well, I just want to say that I'm sorry that you won't be able to get very much relief for that in prison.
Luckily, Smilex is working on a new brand of ibuprofen.
Yeah, which you're not going to be able to get a whole lot of when you're in prison.
I don't see why I would be in prison. But that's besides the point.
You see who shows up in the next 55 minutes, Bell.
Hold up, I hear a knock at my door. I'll be back in 1 second.
Wow, he's such a professional.
Yeah. It was nobody.
So Batman does...
They said they were cops, but that TV show's been off the air for years, so it couldn't be them.
Batman does a lot of his training on the job, on the street. You know, we were talking about his training arena area at the beginning of the movie, if that indeed is what it was, but he hardly needs one because he gets so much practice just going out and fighting crime.
You call it fighting crime, I call it assaulting the general public. Look at this. 2 men that he's assaulted. 1 man has to run off because he's in fear of what this lunatic might do to him. It's disturbing.
I can easily turn that around and be like, look, your goon's a coward.
My goon is not a coward. He is preparing
Your goon's a
himself
coward.
for the inevitable. He's taking it upon himself to get out of a horrible situation where he could get injured or maybe even maimed.
I don't see how your guy defeats a man who comes up with car shields. Like, he doesn't have anything nearly that ingenuitive.
Acid can burn through car shields, obviously.
Well, sure, but his answer to everything is acid and guns and hygiene products.
Well, that's the answer to every question.
Really, those three things?
Yes, have you never taken a math test? It's guns, acid, hygiene products, in that order. Any math test. Children, if you're watching this...
What is pi? 3.14 hygiene products!
Yes, I don't see why you brought up math into this when we're trying to be commentating on the Gotham City Showdown presented by Warner Brothers.
Also, my guy's got a lot of guts, because he is not afraid to show everyone where he lives.
You call it guts, I call it stupidity.
You know, I mean, at first, he was trying to stick to the shadows and make sure that nobody knew anything about him, but I think slowly he's trying to set an example, and so he's trying to show you more and more things about himself to try to set that example.
Is the example how to be a lunatic who kidnaps women?
Well, he didn't kidnap her. She came willingly. Meanwhile, your guy does kidnap women.
He picked her up like a gentleman. This guy is running into walls. It's
now,
reckless driving.
As I said earlier,
it's unsafe. I don't even see a seatbelt.
He does do some things I wouldn't do. He is eccentric. He is a little bit extreme, but he's not the Joker. You know, if I have to vote between these guys, I'm certainly going against the Joker.
Well, I am voting for the Joker, who happens to be running against Mayor Borg in the next election. So be sure to get out and register to vote so you can vote for Joker. Because remember, a vote for Joker is a vote for happiness.
Well, he's going to be running from the grave, I do believe.
I actually hear
if not a hospital room.
I actually hear that his campaign headquarters is located in Bloodhaven. So he won't be running from the grave. I don't even know where the grave is or where it's located. Is that perhaps near Central City? I'm not familiar with the area.
I just can't wait to see your reaction when your guy does not make it out of this fight.
See, ye of little faith, because we all know that the Joker is going to be the one man left standing when he reigns supreme over Batman.
La 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 la.
That's the worst Christmas carol I have ever heard.
La.
Wait a minute. Is this why you've been trying to get me to mix all these... How dare you, Captain? How dare you, sir? Trying to potentially poison me? That is just... That is
Once again, more proof that Danny Nixon did not do the homework.
That is unconscionable.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure the Joker becoming the mayor would be unconstitutional, but...
How would you know that? We've seen his long-form birth certificate. He is obviously a citizen of Gotham. Meanwhile, I hear Bruce Wayne was born in Metropolis. Many people are saying it. I'm just repeating the facts.
I don't think you have to be born in the city that you want to run for mayor in. Almost positive that's not a thing.
Actually, in Gotham City, you have to be born in the courthouse in order to be eligible to run for
In
mayor.
the courthouse?
Yes.
Wow. All right, well, I'll make sure and fact check that, but I'm about 45 facts behind.
Fun fact, 5 of Gotham's past mayors were actually born because their mothers were actually in court for minor traffic violations when they gave birth, which is why they were in the courthouse and born in the courthouse. It's a very arcane rule. I don't make the rules. I just repeat them.
Danny only exists to create fiction that to someone might sound like fact for the sake of entertainment, Meanwhile, I like to call the entertainment as I see it. And right now, I see a woman on a phone.
And right now, I'm seeing the Gotham Globe delivering their papers late, as usual.
Well, you sure profess to know an awful lot about Gotham for having never been here before.
I do my research. I look up the facts. I fact check everything
What are
I
you
say.
talking about?
Everything
You
I
didn't
repeat.
even know why I was trying to tell you to put a bunch of products together that may or may not lead to your demise.
I refuse to dignify that with a response because you are insinuating that I do not do my homework, that I do not do my research, and as a commentator and as a real journalism, I absolutely do check my facts and do my research.
Yeah, he is, folks. I will concede to that point. He's a real journalism.
That is such an unnecessarily long staircase.
You know, ever since Batman came onto the scene and has been winning matches, cave front property has gone through the roof.
I've got some cave front property next to my oceanfront property in Arizona if you're interested.
I'm sure you do.
The bridge actually connects the two, which is why I mentioned it earlier.
And a fun fact, and I don't like to get too personal, but Vicky Vale's apartment looks a lot like the hotel room I'm staying in Gotham this weekend.
I'm actually staying at the hotel that's conveniently right next to a movie theater, so I can see the same movie that's been playing at that theater for 20 some odd years.
Oh yeah, what is that? Footlight Frenzy?
I believe so. I've only seen it twice, so I can't recall the name.
Yeah, I've never been, but I'm with you. Every time I'm in town, it seems like that's the only thing that's playing. It's kind of weird.
It's a classic. Of course it's the only thing that's playing. It's the only movie you ever need to watch. It's the Citizen Kane of movies.
I still think it's amazing that Bruce Wayne has decided to show all of this behind-the-scenes stuff about his life. I know the Joker's doing it too, but it doesn't really make it that difficult for Joker to conduct his business if people know that he's Jack Napier. We all know now that Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Well,
that is a bold move, sir.
It's a long con, and it's his attempt to get us to think that he's a normal person who wakes up and goes downstairs and gets breakfast. And I see right through it. It's not working on me, Mr. Wayne.
Look, I don't know what he's talking about any more than Vicky Vale does. That's not normal. Normal people don't do that. Again, you know, he's rich and he's been a little bit out of touch, but I think he's working on that. I think he's trying. I think that's part of the reason that he's fighting for the common man the way he is.
He's a rich man going around beating up homeless people. He is not working for the common man. Meanwhile, Joker is stealing from the rich and giving to everyone else, who happens to be named Jack Napier.
He sure is.
He's a very generous man. See, Vicky's just as confused by this man as I am. I don't see what anyone like yourself sees in this man. He is a freak. He's a weirdo. He needs to be dealt with by the authorities. He has no place here at the Gotham City Showdown Fighting League.
You know, I think it's unfortunate that all of your criticisms have to come from mid-90s rock songs. He's a freak and a weirdo. Seriously?
It's a great song. Do you have problems with cultural references? Is that your big takeaway from this? Is that you don't like pop culture references? What, are you living under a rock? Are you living under a cave?
Danny, I'd love to do more verbal banter with you, but verbal banter. I'd love to do more verbal tete-a-tete with you, but it occurs to me that the league did not send me this part of the reel. I've not seen this before, and I'm wondering what's in that box.
Well, because I do my research, I saw this, And what it is a wonderful, wonderful...
Wait a minute, they sent you this, but not me? What is that about?
They sent it to everybody. You just didn't do your research, Captain.
I did not get this in the pre-fight material.
Well, you just weren't paying attention, obviously. It's a wonderful surprise and a wonderful...
I did get the traditional pre-fight donut, but I did not get this.
Wait, there's a pre-fight donut involved?
Yeah, there's a pre-fight donut. You didn't get the traditional pre-fight donut?
No, I didn't. I just got a donut hole.
It was delicious. It must have come from my traditional pre-fight donut. Sorry about that, but that sounds like a metaphor for your entire life. Anyway, he was just left with the hole. So you were going to tell me what's in the box?
Well, I would, but it's a surprise. And since you obviously didn't do your research ahead of time, I'm not going to spoil the surprise for you, and I'll let you find out along with Vicky Vale as we see her unveil the surprise later, and I perhaps had given away too much. Because it is for her.
Once again, this boombox was graciously donated by Gotham City Boom.
And will soon be playing the wonderful musical stylings of Prince, sponsored by the Prince Estate.
By the Prince Estate.
And Warner
Rest in
Brothers.
peace, Prince. And that popcorn was brought to you by Orville Redenbacher.
It's very stale. I gotta say, they may be a sponsor, but I'm not impressed with their product. It's
no,
stale.
Their current slogan is "Last the whole day long."
As long as you set it on top of your fireplace.
That's one of the many places you can set it. Yes.
It's a very weird place to set popcorn. You would think you'd set it, in a bowl next to your couch so you can eat it while you watch TV. But I guess
I did not know about
is okay too.
I did not know about any of these events, so I had no idea that these two had faced off before. But I really think that my guy. Oh,
what did I tell you? Joker is the last man standing. Oh, looks like we have our winner here.
He will come back from this.
He can't.
And of course, I know that because I know that he's not dead. But I mean, I think he's gonna have even more fortitude and self-assuredness after going through this.
Are you really insinuating that Batman would die and come back to life? That is absurd.
No, you twit. I'm insinuating that he didn't actually get shot and he's playing dead.
Well, that's a very weird assumption to make, considering we just saw him get shot by the Joker and now his body's disappeared.
Oh, look! He's gone!
Yes, because he's ascended into heaven because he was apparently a good Christian.
I thought you did your homework.
Of course I did.
Didn't you know where this was going to go? I don't understand conversations with you. Okay, what's in the box? And it's
a severed hand.
A dead hand holding dead flowers.
Yes, in Gotham City, fun fact, severed hands holding dead flowers are considered a delicacy.
Wait, you're saying she fainted and then she's going to eat them?
Yeah, what do you do when you get a severed hand? Do you not eat it?
I generally return to sender.
I don't think there was a shipping invoice on that. I think it was hand delivered.
Send it back to Amazon Prime. Get your money back.
With how far behind the times Gotham is, I don't know if they even have access to Amazon Prime. I think they're still using, eBay and shopping in stores.
So for those of you that are not familiar with this backstory, Bruce Wayne got into this life because his parents were gruesomely murdered in an alley. And we will find out a little bit later who did that. It should not be a shock to anyone. But I find that this makes Batman far more sympathetic, and I'm pulling for him a lot more because of the because of the horrible things he's gone through and because of how badly he wants to make sure this never happens to anyone else, Danny.
You call him sympathetic, I call him pathetic.
But isn't that... Well, sure, that's an easy tagline, right? But doesn't my guy have much more worthwhile goals than yours?
Absolutely not. This is a man out for vengeance, and vengeance is wrong. Meanwhile, my guy is out to create art. And art is a wonderful, beautiful thing, and should fill the air. We should all fill the air with art. We should all fill our lives with the pursuit of art, not revenge.
You heard it here first, folks. Revenge bad. The air should be filled with art. So this was the press conference that we saw yesterday that led to this fight. And yesterday, I've been in the city. It feels like since yesterday, about a week ago. This press conference. And we are just about to go live to the actual, as Jack calls it here, Big Dukaroo. Danny, I'm excited. Less so because I got to call it with you.
Well, I am excited to see Joker finish off Batman once and for all and be the last man standing here at the Gotham City Showdown, sponsored by Warner Brothers.
So what is he going to do? Like lob off one of his hands and then put dead flowers in it and then eat it?
No, he's going to hand-deliver it to somebody so they can eat it. He's not selfish. He doesn't eat it himself. That would just be rude. He's got two that he can eat, so why wouldn't he give one of them to another person?
So as a lot of you heard last week, I'm sure Joker making this big speech about how he's not a killer, but he's a homicidal artist, which is, in my mind, the same thing. He, of course, leaves out the homicidal part here, but throughout this entire commentary, you've heard Danny just kind of reiterate this nonsense, and somehow he's been really pulled into this man's vortex. So I don't understand it. I don't see how, but Danny seems like a really disturbed personality in the first place.
I am actually a big fan of the band Disturbed. Thank you.
See, just like textbook deflection.
I don't deflect anything.
Man, I could have, and see, now he's going to go literal again. I could have a field day psychoanalyzing Danny, but I'm a commentator, not a therapist. And this is not making me want to change careers. It doesn't make me want to stay in this career or go to that career. I'm thinking about taking up something else entirely, like kayaking.
I actually have a fear of the water, so I don't kayak. But I hear it's a very fun activity for people who do like the water.
You know, Danny, I think maybe you should take, like, some hairspray and some aftershave and go on a boat.
No, because boats frighten me. And it's time my commentary partners share my dread.
You're not going to get me out on a boat with you. That is not going to happen. So yeah, it is a little known fact, but the same movie that is playing currently at the Monarch Theater is the same one that Bruce Wayne's parents watched right before they died.
Yes, it is the physical sensation, Footlight Frenzy.
I'm not sure if the theater has insisted on continuing to show that in memoriam.
No, it's just a classic film. Everyone should see the Footlight Frenzy at least 4 times in their life.
I'll get right on that.
And here we see some more of that Orville Redenbacher popcorn.
Right, yeah. Back then it didn't last all day.
No, it didn't. It only lasted 12 hours. Despite the fact that time seems to stand still in Gotham City.
There's Danny Nixon's hotel.
Yes. And despite the fact that time seems to stand still in Gotham City, the popcorn technology has improved vastly.
Hotel was one of our last-minute sponsors. It's a really simplified name. Some people get a little bit confused about it, but it is the best hotel you'll ever stay at, despite the fact that it's right behind a pretty violent alley, and It's just known as Hotel.
Yes, it's actually
Tell your friends.
It's actually a chain of motels, and the name of the motels is Hotel. Their slogan, "We've got the beds," is a little on the nose, but who am I to judge?
They do that. I've been there. That is not false advertising. They have beds.
They're like Arby's. They're the Arby's of motels.
Oh, I have a I have a soundbite from a commercial for them. I'd like to play right now. Hotels, we've got the beds.
And that has been a word from our sponsor, Hotels, the Motels. We've got the beds.
Hotels, we've got the beds.
Sponsored by Warner Brothers.
Sponsored by the Prince Estate.
And boomboxes.
And Gotham City Boo.
And Gotham City Cabbage. And Orville Redenbacher popcorn. It lasts all day.
It lasts all day. It's also surprising that Vicky Vale has put herself in the spotlight as much as she has.
Well, I think she's trying to get herself out in the public as much as she can so that there's more awareness around her in case she goes missing due to this freak, the Batman.
So, do you think? And by the way, this feed is live. We are seeing behind the scenes, like not behind the arena because they're in the Batcave right now. But usually these would be things that you would see right behind the arena. But Batman's preparing, of course, in his lair, and this is a live
lair.
feed. They are broadcasting their private lives right now. And Danny Nixon would have you believe that Vicky Vale is still on the side of the Joker, which is 8 shades of preposterous.
Of course she's on the side of the Joker. She's playing the long game. She's trying to get in Batman's head so he's less focused, so when they go into this fight, Joker has the upper hand. He's a very smart tactician and has infiltrated Batman's training regimen with Vicky Vale. It's genius.
The fight tonight is also brought to you by Gotham City Vaults. Gotham City Vaults.
Perfect for that one Batcave in your life.
That's Danny Nixon making fun of the Batcave. They didn't actually give us that copy to read.
No, they didn't, but that Batcave is preposterous. It has actually lowered the value of the housing market in that surrounding area because no one wants to live next to that bat-infested Batcave.
Wait a minute, what is my guy doing right now?
He's about to commit murder, if I had to guess, because he is a homicidal maniac.
He's not.
He absolutely is.
He's not going to do that.
Oh,
holy crap!
Tonight's show is also sponsored by Gotham City Fireworks, which are sponsored by Bruce Wayne.
Well, I'm sure he felt this was absolutely necessary.
Yes, I'm sure blowing up a chemical plant.
And I'm pretty sure all those guys got out alive.
Necessary.
They ran out the back and jumped. There's a lot of water around there.
You are reaching quite a bit, Captain, to justify the actions of your man. You should probably be a little bit more objective and look at what's going on instead of trying to pick sides and to pick a competitor here at the Gotham City Showdown.
You're saying you're not picking sides?
Of course I'm not.
And furthermore, how easy would it be if this was your guy to just say, well, yes, he committed murder, but it's art!
Well, my guy didn't do that, did he? Did he blow up a bunch of people? No. He created homicidal art, which is completely different than murder, as we have established previously.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure this big festival that he's been pushing all week, that he's commandeered, he's probably going to kill a bunch of people here.
See, there's more of that reaching. I can't see my man Joker committing murder. He may create a giant flash mob for homicidal art, but he would never commit murder. He's not a monster. He's a clown, and clowns are trustworthy people. So you're saying that if
hundreds of people were to die here because of something to do with these balloons or whatever, that's not murder?
Of course not. It's homicidal art.
What is artistic about that? And even if it is artistic, why is that okay?
Well,
why does art trump human lives, Danny Nixon?
Because art lives forever. And see, like I said,
so does
the modern day
infamy.
Robin Hood. So does what?
So does infamy.
Yes, Batman will go down in infamy as the greatest villain that Gotham City has ever seen. And you can see
man.
our modern day
see.
Robin Hood giving money back to the people of Gotham. Giving
We are
back their
almost
hard-earned
to-
tax dollars.
We are almost to the moment you've all been waiting for.
Absolutely. We're seeing the grand, wonderful entrance of the Joker here at the Gotham City Showdown.
Batman's
Sponsored by
entrance,
Warner
as I
Brothers.
understand it, will be a great deal more understated. It will be grand, it will be spectacular, but it won't be the Macy's Day Parade.
If we've learned one thing about Batman, is it will be gaudy, and it will be tacky, and it will be crass, and it will be tasteless.
What you call tasteless, I call simple and elegant.
Simplicity is stupidity.
And you could take that to the bank, folks. Take
Yes,
it to
along
the
with
bank.
all the money that you've just gotten from the Joker.
I was waiting for you to make the Joker's great because he's bribing everyone argument.
No, he's great because he doesn't have to bribe everybody to get them on his side, yet he still pays them. He is a wonderful boss, a wonderful leader, a wonderful community organizer. Look at all the people he got out into Gotham here at midnight in Gotham.
At the Gotham City Showdown. Wow, you didn't do it that time.
No, I was going to let you practice some of your plugs. You need to work on that, Cap. We've established this. I'm trying to teach you. And this is a teaching moment, and you got your plug in. So very, very good job. Sponsored by Warner Brothers.
So sponsored by Matte Paintings R Us.
Matte Paintings are us. They're not going bankrupt like the other are us, but they are where a painting can be a painting. That's their slogan.
So that's Joker's big smack talk. Batman does not feel the need to do that. He's not going to be on the other side throwing out jibes and insults. He's just going to get the job done, Danny.
If by get the job done, you mean lie flat on his back, because Joker will be the last man standing, absolutely he will get the job done.
I just cannot wait to clown laugh in your face when it's your guy that's sprawled out on his back.
I'm telling you, man, the Joker will reign victorious here at the Gotham City Showdown.
I'm also pretty sure that was his own foreshadowing for his demise. Go with a smile.
Well, yeah, if you have to pick sides, you obviously go with the smile. He's not going to die, though. Why would he die? He's going to be victorious. I have already seen the winner of this fight because I can see into the future. And our future here at the Gotham City Showdown is bright from those pearly white teeth that are being exposed by that beautiful smile of the Joker's.
I just cannot believe I forgot my dunce cap at home.
Dunce caps. Never leave home without them.
And that is not a sponsor for this evening. Danny is just trying to cover himself because he knows that was a good insult. That was Danny's way of saying that was a good one, Cap.
What you call a good one, I call a great sponsorship opportunity. So, Gotham City Dunce Caps, if you're listening, and I know you are, because everyone around the world is listening to our commentary on this wonderful night of fighting here in Gotham City, sponsor us. There's still some time left for you to sponsor us, so please sponsor us.
You know, Danny, I don't like you and all that, but I want to. But I want to ask you seriously if you've had the same thing I have, which is I'm a little surprised the Gotham City Dunce Cap isn't a giant skyscraper. I don't know why they need that much space.
Yeah, I guess maybe they were going for something artistic, and it's a tall dunce cap, so it's a tall skyscraper building that comes to a nice point at the top of Gotham City skyline. But
Wow,
it just feels
for
gaudy.
once your incessant literalism almost leads to something mildly profound.
My profoundness is much like my salsa. Mild.
He gets one a commentary. And that'll be his last one, because this will be, obviously, his last commentary.
Of course it will not be. because the Gotham City Showdown returns next month for the Gotham City Showdown versus Metropolis City Showdown. Dawn of Showdown.
They haven't chosen the location yet.
Well, yes, because Gotham City and Metropolis will be fighting to see who gets the location of the showdown. That's why it's called the Dawn of the Showdown, because it's before the showdown.
Yeah, I'm still not sure what they're doing with that yet. I've been having a hard time picturing it, but cannot wait to find out next week at the Gotham/Metropolis City Showdown.
Dawn of Showdown.
I just can't even say the whole thing with a straight face. I'm like I got through as much of it as I did.
See, you're a very unprofessional commentator if you can't get through simple plugs like that with a straight face.
So Batman is an absolute genius. He didn't come out swinging. He hasn't even gotten out of his Batwing yet. The first thing he does is he figures out how to save the people of Gotham. He gets rid of those balloons. Absolutely genius.
He stole a man's balloons. He stole balloons. What kind of a monster steals balloons and releases them?
What kind of monster gasses people after sadistically gassing them?
They're outside.
Or, I'm sorry, after sadistically giving them money.
They're outside in a crowded square. He was simply spraying them down with some Febreze. Some Smilex brand Febreze. He was being considerate in trying to remove the smell of all of that horrible
I was trying to wonder if you're
garbage.
on the Joker's payroll.
Of course I'm not on the Joker's payroll, but I am on the payroll of Warner Brothers, the proud sponsor of the Gotham City Showdown.
And don't forget, of course, to buy your Batman moon prints on the way out.
At Matte Paintings Are Us, another proud sponsor of the Gotham City Showdown.
Right. Where a matte painting can be a matte painting.
And be sure to pick out one of your lovely boomboxes at Gotham City Boomboxes.
Okay, what's he gonna do?
He's probably going to run a jet right into a poor defenseless man like a lunatic would.
So Batman comes at the Joker with the Batwing. He is gearing up for missiles.
It's horrifying.
Surely he's not actually going to take out the Joker with missiles. He's not a killer.
We just saw him kill an entire chemical plant. Of course he's a killer.
I'm still sure those, and I'll find out later on. I'll go back and look at the reel, but I'm pretty sure that everyone made it out of there alive. It looks like he's just posturing, Danny.
All bark, no bite.
He's just posturing. Well, what, did you want him to take out your guy? Like, that would not have been a fair fight.
Well, as last man standing, you gotta do what you gotta do to be the last man standing, and Batman doesn't have the guts to do what it takes to be the last man standing at the Gotham City Showdown.
So Joker pulls out a gigantic gun out of his pants, so take that for what you will, metaphor-wise, and he takes down the Batwing.
With a single shot.
He is fighting dirty, folks. Once again, solving all of his problems with guns.
And acid. That was an acid bullet.
Making my point for me.
He's doing what he's got to do to win.
Batman has crashed in front of a church. We'll see here in just a minute if he's okay.
He should certainly have his pilot's license revoked after that. That was a horrible landing. He did not stick the landing, and if this was a gymnastics competition, he would have gotten 3 wins.
Your boy shot him with an acid bullet!
So, if you can't stick the landing, then what point do you have in even flying to begin with?
We still don't know if he's okay, folks.
He seems to have disappeared, and I am
Yeah,
about ready to declare Joker
cockpit.
as the last man standing.
I think it's too early to call it, Danny. It certainly, I will say, does not look good for Batman.
No, it does not. In fact, I can't even see him under that pile of rubble. I see no way for him to even get to his feet. So I am going to do the referee's job for him and declare Joker the winner.
The judges have not called it yet. And there he is. He is on his feet, ladies and gentlemen.
Are we sure that's the same person and not a body double?
The bout continues. Yeah, of course you would say that.
I've heard rumors.
The pettiest commentator I have ever dealt with in my 20 years of in this business.
I've heard rumors that there are actually different Batmen. A lot of
I've
people
heard
are
that
saying
rumor
it.
as well, but I think that would be very strange, given that Bruce Wayne has come out and told us all that he's Batman.
It's a ploy. Obviously. Divert your attention towards one Batman so the other Batman can run around cheating like all Batmen do. Horrible, horrible sportsmanship on display by one of these multiple Batmen.
And there goes the pews!
Pew pew, like the sound
Batman
of a gun.
hurt enough that he cannot stay on his feet long enough to not knock down a lot of pews. Hopefully he can pull himself together.
He's staggering like a drunk. Maybe that's why he crashed his plane, is because he was drinking. After all, he did say earlier in the previous real footage that after one drink he's flying. So maybe that was foreshadowing into his horrible, horrible practice of drinking and flying.
Well, speaking of reaching, I give you Danny Nixon. But I marvel at Batman's ability to just keep on going after that staggering crash. I don't know many people that could do that. It's amazing that he's still alive, much less on his feet.
I'm telling you, it's a different
So
Batman.
much conviction, so much determination.
You call it conviction, I call it cheating. This Batman is cheating. He's got his entire face covered, so we can't tell if it's even Bruce Wayne under that mask. He should be
You're
stripped.
going to begrudge a man for bleeding?
Yes, I am. I am going to begrudge a man for bleeding.
So this fight is already way out of hand. The entire police department is on hand hoping to stop this.
Yes, they need to stop it, and they need to unmask this Batman to make sure it's still the same competitor, so we're not on uneven playing fields and taking away the Joker's hard-earned victory. We already saw Batman go down for the count.
So are you implying that this must be a different person because there's no way Bruce Wayne would have the fortitude to do what he's doing?
Absolutely. We all know that Bruce Wayne and Batman are proven cheaters. Of course he's going to have multiple people waiting in the wings, waiting in the bat wings.
And Joker drops a giant bell from a bell tower with, you guessed it, more acid.
If you can't solve it with guns, solve it with acid. And if you can't solve it with acid, solve it with WD-40.
This Joker might as well be Two-Face. He just flips a coin. Is it going to be bullets? Is it going to be acid?
Well, he was going to be Bullets or Acid Man, but that was actually copyrighted, and because Joker obeys the laws and obeys copyright and obeys trademarks, he went with a much different name. Here we see Batman taking the stairs like a loser. What kind of person doesn't take the elevator or even the escalator?
So this looks to me to be about a 16th, 17th century building.
That's no excuse.
Which, of course, doesn't have an elevator, much less an escalator.
That's still no excuse.
I suppose later on one could be put in, but this looks like a condemned church that nobody's been in a long time.
There could be a dumbwaiter.
I think Danny is just like... I was just waiting for the literal thing where you talked about an actual dumb waiter, because that seems to be your MO, Mr. Nixon.
Well, we've got a dumb guy for the dumb waiter. You spoiled my joke before I got a chance to actually get it out. So thank you.
So this showdown has already gotten far out of hand. We're seeing the authorities trying to stop it.
And here we see
Joker, as always, not doing the dirty work himself.
He's evening the playing field since there are
minions
multiple
after
Batmen. He's bringing in his henchmen to help take out these multiple Batmen so he and Bruce Wayne can go one-on-one.
I'm having a really hard time just calling this fight. It seems like all I'm able to do is fight myself with Danny Nixon as he just makes up things that are clearly not actually going on.
I can see it with my own two eyes. Can you not, or are you just blind as a bat to the facts?
I can tell that's one man. I can tell he has the precise same jawline that Bruce Wayne has. And I see no evidence whatsoever that there is more than one Batman.
Well, Joker had a pretty good
This is
plastic
not
surgeon.
a Doink the Clown situation. It's one Batman.
I don't know. I think I saw a dink and a donk all running around here helping out our Batman or our Batmen.
Well, this is now the most insane suggestion Danny Nixon has made. He's claiming that clown wrestlers are helping Batman.
Yes, because
Clown wrestlers!
they're traitors to all clown kind and not siding with the Joker.
Looks like Joker might do the job for... Oh, okay.
Of course not. Why would he give up such a surefire victory with one surefire bullet?
Because he's insane?
No, he's not.
Because he's a crazy person?
Batman is the insane one here.
Batman is different. The Joker is insane.
I actually believe he's in a church, not a sane.
Does anybody else hear crickets?
Yes, there are actually millions of crickets watching around the world at home, live on pay-per-view for the Gotham City Showdown, sponsored by Warner Brothers.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this absolute debauchery of a commentary. But I know that the majority of you can't actually hear me saying this right now or are talking about our sponsors, because if I were you, I would have muted it an hour ago.
Yes. Luckily, some people have the technology to mute just one commentator, and I hope you've made the right choice in muting Captain Logan, so you can hear my glorious voice and my wonderful insight here at the Gotham City Showdown.
For those of you only listening to me with this amazing technology that Danny Nixon was just talking about that you wouldn't know about, that makes it so that you can only hear me instead of Danny, I think you've made the right choice. Hashtag Danny's an idiot.
And for those listening to me, thank you again for joining us here. Hashtag Captain is not our captain.
Good one! So, Vicky is pretending like she actually likes the Joker right now. Danny is going to tell you that she's actually really into him.
She is. Look at her sensually kissing the sleeve of his coat. Meanwhile, Batman is skulking around in the background, waiting for his moment to strike like a coward instead of facing the Joker head on.
It's called battle strategy, sir.
It's called being a chicken.
He's the only person remotely playing by the rules.
He's a man confused about what bird he's supposed to be. Is he a chicken or is he a bat? It's just he can't make up his mind because he has...
Did you just say what bird and then said a bat is a bird?
Of course it's a bird.
Yes. You idiot. Just like Danny.
Have you never heard of Batman being referred to as Bird Brain?
No, I think that's more of a Robin thing, generally speaking. So Batman punches the Joker. Joker goes through a wall. He is on his back.
And now he's on his feet.
Oh, it looks like he's about to pull out an unsanctioned foreign object. What is it? It's chattering bloody teeth! Joker punches Batman in the stomach, hurts his hand, naturally, unpredictably, and Batman is now going on to the smack talk, I think justifiably at this point, saying, "You killed my parents. I made you. You made me first."
See, and I completely agree with the Joker. He's being childish right now. He's going after a selfish motivation of revenge, while Joker
as Danny's
is doing
talking
nothing.
about his childish, or my guy being childish, his guy puts on a pair of glasses hoping Batman won't punch him. Also, not against the rules to punch a guy with glasses.
It absolutely is in the Gotham City Showdown Fighting League. It is clearly stated in the rulebooks that you cannot punch anyone with glasses. Contacts are okay, but not glasses. Because frames and lenses are expensive, and if you break someone's lenses, it's just being rude. And we don't tolerate rudeness here at the Gotham City Showdown.
The passage that he's referring to is on page 143. It's paragraph 3, and it states that you cannot punch a man with glasses, not comma with glasses, which suggests, and if you look at it in the full context, it is clear that what it's referring to is that you cannot put glasses in your hand and punch a person with them.
Now,
not that you can't punch a person wearing glasses.
That is such a reach. That is such
the full context
weird...
makes that clear.
No, it doesn't. There is no context to it. There's only subtext. And the subtext clearly states that if someone who is wearing glasses on their face cannot be punched by another competitor, because that is rude.
Joker is waiting for his ride, once again, about to break the rules, because he's going to lifeline himself out.
He's just trying to get the height advantage, so he can drop down on Batman and put him down for the 1, 2, and the 3, and be the last man standing.
I think he's going to drop him and leave before the fight is called. And plus, the whole thing is rendered moot at this point anyway, because the fight has been canceled, but both of our players are still fighting.
Well, I don't believe anyone has informed the competitors that it has been canceled.
That's a good point.
Okay,
you get 2 apparently.
I get multiple. I'm like a broken clock. I'm right twice a day.
Well, this could go either way right now.
I'm still pulling for my guy, the Joker. My
Both
number
of our
one
guys
guy.
Are hanging by a thread. Batman from a dilapidated and falling apart church, and the Joker with a big piece of rock attached to his leg.
I believe that's actually called a gargoyle.
The top of a gargoyle. Hanging from a helicopter. There he goes! And he's falling. And he's falling. I can practically hear the whistle!
Well, the referee hasn't made it official yet. And see, Batman's falling too. So it looks like it'll be the first person to their feet will be the winner. And I think the Joker, who had a couple more seconds to get to the ground, to get to his feet, will probably be the winner.
How is he supposed to survive a drop that far? Batman shoots out his grappling hook. It connects. He and Vicky Vale are both safe. They are swinging in complete, perpetual safety.
But he's not the last man standing. He's still gliding, so he doesn't win yet.
Who is on his back now, son?
I don't see anybody laying on their back. We have not found the Joker. We are to believe he is still on his feet, and so he is the last man on his feet.
Exactly the insanity I thought he would, where he is just calling it like no one is seeing it. The Joker is dead. He is more than down for the count.
He is,
as he said, laughing, but it's not actually him. It is a laughing bag that Gordon has just pulled out of his pocket. And that's it, folks.
We will
It's all over. Now all we have to do is to wait for the cops to show up and take Danny Nixon away.
We are surely to have a rematch at some point down the line where the Joker can get his revenge against the Batman for everything that he has done to him here tonight. Ruining his parade, raining on his parade, stealing his balloons. It's despicable what the Batman has done to the Joker and how he's made a mockery of the sport of the Gotham City Showdown Fighting League.
I call it poetic justice, sir. The Joker
I
is
call
dead.
It a soliloquy.
He did it to himself. Batman saved the girl. And now we have a celebratory press conference. Wow, they got here real fast, Danny.
Well, there's only like 2 blocks in Gotham, so it wouldn't have taken them long to get there.
I'm still impressed by how fast they've managed to put this together, but I guess a lot of the cops were already out in force trying to stop the match because of how deadly it looked like it was getting. But it looks like they're not pressing charges against Batman, and in fact, they are celebrating him. They are sending his signal out into the sky, declaring him the official winner.
They've made a mockery of the sport of Gotham City Showdown fighting. It's horrifying to see the blatant corruption from the Gotham City Police Department in declaring Batman the victor, even though his feet were never on the ground. We have yet to see his feet touch the ground yet. The Joker's were clearly on the ground.
I mean, I'm sure he's standing around here somewhere, Danny.
But he's not on the ground, and the bylaws clearly state your feet must be on the ground to be declared the winner. and Joker's feet were on the ground. He has been robbed of his title. And
also
it is
state
a shame.
that if your opponent plunges himself to his death, he forfeits the entire match.
You'll
by
have to show
default.
You'll have to show me in the rule books where that's stated, because I have not seen that stated anywhere.
Page 97, paragraph 1.
There is no page 97. It goes from 96 straight to 98. It says this page intentionally left blank on page 97.
Yeah, I'll just let you guys decide which of us seems the more reasonable.
So sound off on Twitter.
And there
if
he
you
is,
find Danny
Batman
Nixon,
on his feet,
but not on the ground.
and he is taking his victory pose. Batman is above a fancy Dan or a victory dance. And that's it, folks. That was absolutely breathtaking. I've never seen anything like it. It is sad that Batman's opponent had to die, although I couldn't see any other way for it to go. But I'm having a hard time shedding any tears for a man that attempted to kill everyone in downtown Gotham.
We lost a true visionary and a true wonderful homicidal artist tonight, and we will all be mourning the loss of Jack Napier, commonly known as the Joker. Thank you, everybody, for being here to witness what was most likely the final showcase of the Joker's homicidal art.
Certainly the last time I'll be doing this, or at least the last time I'll be doing it with Danny Bonesaw Nixon. I want to thank our sponsors once again: Gotham City Boom, the Prince Estate,
Warner Brothers, can't forget Warner Brothers, Gotham City Cabbage,
Orville Redenbacher,
and Hotels. We've got the beds.
Hotels! We've got the beds! I was Captain Logan.
And I was Danny Bonesaw Nixon.
I can hear the police sirens on their way already, so that means it's time for us to bid everyone farewell. Thanks again for listening, Fight fans. And I may or may not be here again. So long, folks.
Bye.